Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday. I am Allison Henderson, and you have found Listening with Your Eyes LinkedIn Live. This is a recorded version because I am unable to be with you live today, but I didn't want to miss, and I'm doing my best to get it out here at some point on October 5th. We're going to be talking about observing yourself today. This is something that can be difficult for us to do, but it gives us a lot of information about ourselves and is one way to discover what your authentic movement entails. How do you move and what are the signals that you're giving off? Well, it starts with observing yourself. And how do you do that? Well, right now we are meeting so much virtually that it is really easier than ever. When you're on a Zoom call or Teams meeting or whatever other platform that you use, ask the other participants if you care if you record the meeting. It probably needs to be a meeting that is not talking about anything sensitive that you have to worry about asking legal about whether you can record it, but or even schedule a meeting with a friend and just say colleague, friend, somebody, and say, hey, I'm working on my communication skills. Do you mind if we meet for a virtual coffee? I would like to see what it is that I'm doing on screen. It does help if it's more of a business type of meeting to see what you do in the business context, if that's what you're going for. If you are producing more content that is social media based or is something where you are trying to connect on a very personal or more friend level, then maybe you want to have some girlfriends or guy friends join you and record that. So you get the recording, and then you're going to go watch it multiple times. I know it is difficult to watch. However, the first time you go through it and you watch it, you're simply going to write down what it is that you do. Do you go forwards and backwards a lot like I do? How much are you using your hands? Are you remembering to smile? Is there a weird facial expression that you tend to use? Do you have habits? Do you constantly tuck your hair behind your ear or play with jewelry? Or I don't know, there's so many habits that are out there that you could be choosing to use, but you just need to write them down without commentary. You just write them out. This is what I saw. Then you go back in and categorize whether it's a good thing or something that you don't like so much about what it is that you're seeing. And remember, you are going to be harder on yourself than pretty much anybody else. And that's why it's difficult to watch ourselves. You can also notice verbal things that you do. Do you have certain filler words that you use? When you get nervous, does your pitch rise and become kind of screechy or squealy? Do you use enough range with your voice, or does it kind of become a monotone? Are you going up at the ends of a lot of sentences and making them sound like questions, even when they're statements? There are a lot of things that you can notice when you take that recording. And once you have written down the things that you like and the things that you don't like, then I'm going to challenge you to take it one step further and take those things that you put as negatives and think back in your brain if you can identify where that's coming from. Most likely, if it's something that you don't like, it is from some kind of bias that you have developed over time. This could be because someone, when you were a young child, said things about other people in your life and you see that reflected in you, and so you're having a negative reaction because, oh, that's right, they used to always say that about my mom, and that she wouldn't, I don't know, would never rise up in the company because her voice was too squeaky. Or maybe somebody in your life says that you use your hands too much and now you're really aware of it and you keep looking at yourself to see how much you're using your hands. It could be anything, but I want you to notice whether it's connected to what I call the head trash or the gremlins in your brain. Because as I mentioned, you're going to be harder than yourself on anybody. And often the things that you have written down as being not so great might not come across to others as not so great. There's very few things that are truly getting in the way or preventing you from communicating. And those are the things that we would be talking about if I was to come in and coach you, are the really no contest things that should be fixed or changed. So once you have identified those things, see if you can change your mindset around them a little bit. This is where coaching also comes in really handy, because oftentimes people don't know how to stop that head trash from speaking to them while they're on camera or while they're in the middle of a virtual meeting. And that's undermining their confidence. I know I've told this story before, but I had a client I guess it was even pre-COVID. So I had a client who we were meeting virtually because this person was out of state for me. And she has a Southern accent because she lives not in the deep South, but she has a lovely little lilt to her voice, a little Southern twang. And early in her career, she was told that her boss would never put her in front of clients because her Southern accent made her sound less intelligent. I was floored when this came up during our coaching, because that comment 20 plus years earlier had really undermined everything about her physical presence. She was also doubting how she came across physically because of the verbal and the accent. And I think it was part of what makes her so endearing and what draws people to her, but she couldn't see that. And we had to work on that. And so these are things that you may have to work on too. If somebody said something that was really damaging at some point and it has stuck with you.
Hot water.
For me, people used to say I moved to New York City right after I graduated from undergrad, and I was taking voice lessons and I was taking acting lessons and I was going off on these musical theater auditions and everything. And I had people say to me, "Oh, you just need to grow into your voice. You just need to stay here 10 or 15 years and grow into your voice." Now, what did that mean? I still am not really sure. My voice sounded 10 years older than me, but it stuck in there. Like I was never going to be successful, or I was never going to receive acting jobs for some reason for 10 years. And I might as well just leave. And I kind of did. I only spent like 18 months there before I said, this isn't necessarily what I want, this rat race. But it was in there. And I had to get over it. And I'm sure in some deep down dark place, it's still affecting my effectiveness with all of you on some little level, or at least my sales confidence or something, right? Because auditioning is selling every single day. You're going in, you're saying, hey, and you're selling literally your performance, right? And to be told that I wouldn't be hired because I didn't need to grow into my voice. What a weird comment, right? But it's stuck there, and I've been dealing with it ever since. That's the type of stuff that I want you to be thinking about, okay? And this all then flows into what I will be promoting very shortly, which is called the True to You program. This is something that will start in January, where we do this work together, but in a group. Because it's very difficult to work on your own communication skills if you only have me to communicate with, if it's one-on-one. It really works better when it's one to a small group. And we are limiting it to 10 different people that want to work on their communication skills. And it doesn't have to all be for sales. It doesn't have to all be for public speaking. It doesn't all have to be for video. Whatever you're working on, we will fit your coaching within the group to whatever it is that your goals are. It may be leading your team better. It may be sales. It may be speaking to the board. It could be you're going to be creating a bunch of videos for social media and you want to make sure that your authenticity comes through, because this is called True to You for a reason. It is individualized. There are so many body language books and other things out there that make it sound like these are the do's and don'ts that fit for everybody, and that's just not true. Each person's movement signature is unique, and that's what I am trained to do as a movement pattern analyst, is figure out what your movement signature is and how to use that to be more influential, more persuasive, make more sales, sell from the back of the room if you are doing presentations, or influencing your audience. So there are so many ways that better communication affects your business, and that's what we're going to be working on. And each person's going to get a slightly different, individualized plan, but it's going to be so much better because we're going to be able to mastermind with that group. You're going to be able to practice communicating with different people and get other people's opinions, not just mine. So that's going to be starting in January. I don't have a landing page for it yet. However, if you are interested, please email me, Alison, Alison, at movingimageconsulting.com, and say, hey, you were talking about that True to You new thing starting in January. I want to apply. It's not going to be something that we do a bunch of webinars and then, you just join at the end. No, because we want to make sure that the right people are in the program that are ready for it. And so it will be an application process. You just need to let me know that you want to apply. I will send you the form for that, and then we'll have a conversation and we'll see. Okay? That's really all I had for today. Let's do a quick recap. You're going to be observing yourself this week. Record some conversations that you're having with people who tell them you're recording it, and then look at it and try to be as unbiased as possible, but write down everything that you do. Write down your opinion about those things, whether you like them or whether you don't like them, and then you're going to start thinking about, was there something in my past that is creating this bias? Because you may also be bringing that bias in to other people and thinking things about other people in your life or other people on your teams because of that personal bias that you have. Okay? And then you're going to be thinking about that True to You program. Do I want to be doing that in January? I think you probably will want to do that in January because it is going to skyrocket your goals in your business. All right, everybody, have a fantastic day. We will see you next week for observing others. There's observing you, and then there's observing others when it comes to body language and your communication. Take care.